Good day everyone, and welcome to this week's creative episode. In the last episode I talked about how to achieve buttery colour tones. My subject of choice were Agapanthus from my garden. This year they have grown into incredible giants full of abundant purple drops. In this episode, I'm going to show you the still life painting process using the Agapantha and how to reduce the detail of such intricate foliage into simple shapes. I'm keeping the composition simple and uncomplicated. Learning to see colour and shapes are the primary foundational points to creating delicate, intricate and large-scale velvety artworks. So in this episode, it's a simple glass jar and monochromatic blue-purple colour tone demonstration. How you decide to arrange your foliage and flowers is a matter how complicated and simple you want your composition to be. If you are starting out, keep the floral display monochromatic, that is, don't overcomplicate and add various colours and sizes and shapes to your vessel. Similarly, choose a flower that has a large petal and a simple shape. Remember, your intention is to achieve a good overall tonal value. There will come a time when you will simply know that you can now add a little more complicated flora to your still life and thus raise your level to being able to mix multitude of new tonal values. With every new artwork when painting in oil, you start from your darkest tone, working from back to front. Here, the green foliage is my starting point. As I'm working with the green colour, note the subtle colour tonal changes within the foliage. Again, I am applying the principle that I discussed in my previous video, that is, mixing colour by adding small dabs of a primary colour in order to avoid the chalky, washed out feel. So here with the greens, I'm creating each tonal value by using more of the yellow to lighten up each colour tone versus the white to avoid that washed out feel. I'm now moving to the darkest value of the Agapantha petals. The important things to note here is that my focus is purely on shape. I have reduced this detailed still life to around 5 large blocks of shapes, and it is precisely what I am painting, just shapes. Keeping a close eye on soft edges is also key. Here I am also using a synthetic square brush, a very worn out square brush. I like the movement it makes on the craft paper and how it carries and holds the oil. I should have updated this years ago, but I do have a hard time letting it go. me show you what I mean when I'm referring to reducing your subject matter to a simple shape. Here's a quick highlight of how my mind thinks and breaks down an image. Now, I've imported the actual photograph onto a device, a soft photo editing software, to demonstrate how I see an image and thus be able to paint it using the Impressionist style. While I'm showing you what my brain interprets via this electronic device, in real life it's a matter of squinting like you are in the Arabian desert. Thus why most artists have the best character facial lines with love and distinction. Okay, so here is the image that I've imported onto this Photoshop editing software. And if I simply show you now by moving the level of detail that one can see, notice how the image is reduced into specific categories or of small shapes. So the more that I move the number of shapes or levels that I can see, you can start to see here that it comes in its own category. Now, of course, it's reduced it into just 2 or 3 different colors. Ignore that. That's not accurate. But what I want to show is how to eliminate by squinting in seeing details. Now, if I further reduce the shapes, I can then literally give them a far more simpler reduction by eliminating all of the detail. Now, this is how I start to paint all my compositions, by not focusing on the detail, but rather seeing the intricate shapes first and then later adding on the detail as much or as little as I see fit. Observe as I'm moving through each section of the still life. My primary intention is to paint the large volumes of colour first that are primarily based on their tonal value category. At this stage, I am going back to reinstating my darkest values and also beginning to add a small level of detail. My objective isn't to achieve realism, rather a feeling through colour and small definitions, suggestions of the Agapanthus essence.